All right. Hey, y'all. So, welcome to our Fit Force team call. It is November 30th, 2016, and I already started talking. I forgot to hit record, so I apologize, but all you guys can hop in to where we are. We were basically just talking about balance and how to make sure that we are creating that happy balance between living a joy-filled life and running a successful business. And that's including being a mom and a wife and a friend and doing things that find you joy, and also doing the business building activities that are going to keep your business moving forward and keep you excited about business, even through periods of, low volume and low recruiting and all of that. So anyway, back to topic, to where we were, for those of you guys that are live on the call. So we had kind of changed this around and we've created new videos. And one of the first things that I talk about with the new coaches is there's two parts to this. And there is the part where we give them the information that they need to know. And those things are including what is Success Club, what is, Emerald Rank, what are the things that they need to know about this business so that when they're doing the trainings, they're not confused. But there really is a limited amount that you need to know at the very beginning. There's really only a few things. So you guys can go through, there's a pinned post at the top of our page now. If you're on your phone, you have to actually click view posts, where it's a place for you to tag your new coaches and have them start there. There's a new team FAQ that is there. It's all the questions that we compiled from the leaders that they get from their brand new coaches. A lot of it, they don't need to know all of the answers to all of these questions. It's just a place that when you get a question like Gabby gave me today about, hey, like, where do I start with my back office? You can send them there and say, okay, there is a tour of the back office right here. There's a direct link. All you have to do is click it and just follow through, and then give them instructions about the basics of what they need to know. That's involving where you find your downline, where you find the training, how you can look up your orders, and how you can set your preferred placement and change your payment plans. That's really all they need to know as new coaches. So we don't want to overwhelm our new coaches. They're already overwhelmed enough. They've got tons of information that's being shoved down their throats. So I really, we can teach them and show them all of this stuff, you guys. Like, we can do it with the best of them. And you can learn all of these things. You can be a part of all of these trainings and do, it could be the best trainings of your life. But if you cannot find the time in your day to be able to do them, then you're never going to grow. And that's where I wanted to talk to you guys today, because this is something that I do with my challengers that we also need to remember to do as coaches. And so one of the first things that I talk about is creating a mom statement for yourself. And basically, it's exactly what I just said before. It's a statement and kind of like a guide that you're going to create for yourself that is embodying being a mom and being a successful businesswoman. It is a statement that you're going to create that helps you to have both, and something that you can go back to and look at when you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed and kind of check yourself. And the reason I say mom statement is because it combines both of these things. And in your business, you should definitely have a mission statement. And your mission statement is basically something that you're creating for your business that is going to, kind of articulate what your goals are. What are your values? What are your visions for your business? What are the things that define you and what you strive for in this business? What are you known for? When people are going to talk about your business, what are they going to say? And what do you do? And you are your business in Beachbody. That's the point. So you need to have, as a woman in business, kind of a mom statement. And this is going to help you embody the things that you want as a mom. You're going to envision the things that you want to have. What kind of mom do you want to be? What kind of friend do you want to be? What kind of life do you want to be leading in both business and as a mom? So, it's not impossible to find the time. It's just that when you find the time, and I talked to some of my leaders about this today, is that you can do a million different activities, right? But if you're just doing them to check that box off, then you're not really doing them and you're not really nurturing your business. You're just going through the motions. And that's not how we grow as leaders in a Beachbody business. How we're going to grow is by putting our heart and our passion behind things. So we have to, what we nurture is going to, what we spend time on is what's going to grow. So we have to nurture these things, which means we actually have to enjoy them. So what I want to help you do is figure out how to do that. So one of the activities I want you guys to do is I want you to take out a piece of paper or like write down in your notepad, and I'm going to help you learn how to create your mom statement. So basically, to create your mom statement, I want you to create, like, split the paper, do like half the paper, or you can do the whole one, I don't care. I want you to split it in half, and I want you to write down on one side, I want you to write mom and family. And then I want you to write on the other side, I want you to write business. And I want you to take, and you don't have to do this right now, but I just want you to draw it out so that you can take some time tonight to really think about these things and brainstorm them out. I want you to sit down and I want you to think about what kind of mom do you want to be? Like, what kind of kids do you want to raise? Do you want to be present in their life? What does present mean to you? Does present mean that you're going to be sitting at the kitchen table doing your work while you watch your kids play? Or does present mean that you're going to be on the floor with your kids playing with your kids when it's time to play with them? And then when it's business time, it's business time. What does it look like to you? Because for me, what my life as a mom looks like could be completely different and is completely different than what yours is. So I want you to think about the things that you want to do. Like, I'll give you examples of mine. So for me, in my mom column, I have things about like that I want to raise my kids to be healthy and strong. I want to raise my kids. I want to be the kind of mom that sets a good example for them, that shows them that they can achieve anything that they put their minds to. I want to show them what it means to be caring and to have passion for other people and for things that excite them. I want to make sure that my kids know that they can count on me to be there, that I'm going to pay attention to them when they're talking to me, that I'm not listening to them with my face buried in my phone saying, yeah, oh, that's great, sweetheart. Like, no, I want to be able to look them in the eyes and listen to what they have to say. When it's dinner time, I'm going to be sitting there having a conversation with my children and my husband at dinner time. And these are all just things. I'm not judging anybody if you don't do these things, because I sometimes fail at these things too. But this is the point, is that if you don't have kids yet, maybe it's just your husband or your spouse, or maybe it's when you're with friends. Because I will tell you, one of my biggest pet peeves that I have, drives me absolutely bonkers, is when I'm spending time with a friend, especially somebody that I haven't seen in a while, and they're talking to me doing this at the same time. And they're like, oh, yay. Like, it just drives me absolutely insane. Like, I want to be present with my friends when I'm spending time with my friends. So if that means putting my phone on airplane mode, then that's what I have to do. So these are just some ideas for you guys to go with. Like, another thing for my family and being present, or, present is the big one for me. Like, that's the blanket term that I use, is that I want to be present for my family. I want to make sure that my family has financial stability. I want to make sure, does this make sense to you guys? Like what I'm saying, writing down all the things that you envision as being your ideal. It's basically like your ideal life. What do you want your ideal life to look like that has nothing to do with business? Like, what do you want to do? So for me, that means that if my kid has something that he wants me to be at that's important to him, something as silly as like a little lunch that I just sit there for 45 minutes and watch him talk to his friends, but he wants me to be there, then I'm going to be there for that. Like, that's important to me. And if it means that I have to rearrange my day a little bit to make that happen, then I'm going to do it. So when it comes to running your own business and you're doing it from home, now I want you to take the family part out of it and not think about your family, and then go over to the business side. What do you want your business to look like? And what does that mean for you? And it could be, it depends on how you want to run your business. It could be maybe listing out like a specific amount of conversations that you want to have every day. It could be listing out that you want to have an amazing relationship with the people on your team, that you want to be friends with every single person, that you want to know every single person's, like, the name of everybody's kids, name of their husbands, what they do for a living, all of these things. In my opinion, as a business owner and a team leader, you should know these things, which is why we have the About Me form. It's hard to keep track, especially when you have like 5,000 people in your downline. But it's nice to have a form or something like that where you can go back and you can remind yourself. But if you're somebody that makes it an intentional point to know each and every one of your coaches, then that has to be something that is scheduled into your day, is getting to know people. Or maybe it is not your everyday, but it's scheduled into your week. Like you're going to be spending specific time just checking up on your coaches and asking them questions about their business, about their kids, about their family, or maybe it's just trolling their page and you're learning about how to, like I didn't know, I went and checked up on Gabby. Yes, was it yesterday, Gabby, that I sent you that message? Yeah, I went and checked up on Gabby because I hadn't talked to her since really the second day after she signed up, I think. And I learned that it was her kid's birthday, so it was like, oh, cool, that's awesome. And, I commented on her stuff and I got to know a little bit more about her, which had me scrolling her page a little bit, so you want to take time to do these things, but you have to decide if that's something that's important to you in your business. So you need to write these things down. What kind of business do you want to have? What do you envision? Like, how do you want your challenge groups to be? Be very, very specific, you guys. And it can be, don't just put down like a blanket term. You need to be real with yourself and understand what these things mean, because when you do the next step, you need to realize whether or not you're actually able to make that happen. You have to figure out if, it's something that you believe in, first of all, or if you're just doing it because you feel like everybody else has told you that it has to be done. Or, are these things that you want to have happen, do they like align with your goals and your values and your vision for your family at the same time? So this is why it's really important for you guys to be super specific. Creating a mom statement should not be easy. It should definitely take you some time and some thought. But I promise you it will change your life and the way that you do business, because it's going to make it so much easier for you to kind of follow along and be able to say yes to certain things and be able to say no to certain things in your business and in your personal life. So it's also going to help motivate you, because it's going to remind you, oh crap, I need to get this done. So the next thing after you guys have created these two columns is I want you to go through and you're going to have to create a section at the bottom. So this is where it should kind of look like, let me see, what did I do with my pen? Here it is. Okay, so it should look like this. This is what your paper should look like. Have this little like T thing on it. And it should have like your mom side over here and your business side. And then down here, I want you to write down the activities. So the activity part is going to be what needs to be done to be able to make those things happen. So if you're saying that, you want, so for me, one of the things that I used to do when I started this business was I was the girl that always had her headphone in, and I always had my phone. And even while I was driving and while I picked up my kids from school and all of this, I was like, oh crap, so-and-so messaged me. I've got to message her back right now. And then I would go through and I'd be like, oh, I thought I messaged her back, but I really didn't, because I got distracted by this. And then I got distracted by that. And I was finding myself feeling very lost, and like I was spinning myself on a hamster wheel trying to figure out where I was and how to catch up. And, I was filling in those blanks when I actually got to sit down at my computer, or when I actually got some time to sit down and like do my work on my phone. So for me, what I had to do is say, when I pick up my kids from school, I had to create some business hours for myself. Business hours are really hard for me to follow because I got kids, and things don't always go the same way, and the days are not always exactly the same. So instead of me having like actual hours, it's more like, okay, so when I have my first area of free time during the day, this is what has to be done. And that means that, for me, it's important for me that I am keeping up with my coaches and my challengers. So one day a week, I know that I spend a specific amount of time doing nothing but like checking in with my coaches. And that's talking to them about how they're doing, where they're at, letting them know that I'm here for them, just kind of seeing how their life is going and how their business is going. So I try to do that at least once a week. And I know that that needs to be done. And I have like a list that I can get through. And you could do it, like you could have a certain number that you want to do. but write it down. Say, I'm going to do a specific, I need, or I don't need, I'm going to do X amount of this per day, or I'm going to do this much time of this per day, and set a timer for yourself. You figure out what works for you. And this is where it's super, super important when you are figuring out your activities that you assess your habits. If you assess your working habits, do you know that you're going to get easily distracted? Like if you're like me, which I tend to attract people that are like me, I'm going to get distracted by shiny objects and other conversations that are going on. So I've learned that I have to not look at my phone and answer messages unless I'm in a space where I know that I can keep up. For me, that happens to be in my car. So I love to do my coach check-ins now via voice memo because I know I'm driving. I'm not being distracted by my kids. And I think it's much more personal to check in with your coach via voice because they like to hear your voice. And it's personal. Who's that? Well, sorry, hold on. Distracted. See, distracted. Like super easy. Okay. There we go. I think everybody's muted. But you got to assess your habits and know what works for you. Are you somebody that works much better in like total peace and quiet? Maybe that means that you have to get up before the rest of the household to get your stuff done. Or maybe that means that you're going to do it when like, you know, your kid's at Mother's Day out and you have a few moments of peace to yourself. And the other thing that I learned that's a really hard lesson, because especially when you're working for freedom and, you know, we all have this idea that we're stay-at-home moms or, you know, we can do what we want to do because we have freedom to do it. If you want to work a successful business, when it's your work time, it is your work time. And you've got to remind yourself that you've got to get that done. And it's so easy to say, oh, well, you know, I'm just going to run to Target real quick and I'm going to get those errands done. And, you know, or, I can do that when I get home. And before you know it, you're left with like 30 minutes in your day to answer your messages, check in with your coaches, and do all these things, and they don't get done. And if you're like me, it makes you feel like you failed. It makes you feel like you didn't do enough, like you're a sucky coach, that you can't do everything. And then where are you? So that's why you creating this like mom statement and figuring out what works for you and what's going to align with your life and your business is really going to help you. And if that means that you need to take a step back for a few moments and slow yourself down, slow your roll, then that's what you have to do. You got to take a step back and reevaluate and reprioritize your life. And this happens. It's okay. If you have to do it every day, do it every day. You have to do it like every week, and you sit down every Sunday and you reevaluate your week and how it's going to look and what's going on. And you change your, you know, your little statement or your hours or whatever it is for the week because it's got to fit you, then that's fine. But be prepared. Don't just wing it. Trust me, winging it is going to get you in trouble. So for me, what I've learned is that I'll just give you a brief example. I already told you a little bit about what like my mom mission is. My mom mission is to be present with my children. I've explained to you what present means for me. I want to be present with my children. I want to raise happy, healthy, well-mannered, well-behaved, you know, adults one day. I want them to understand what it means to love and be loved and to be respected and how to respect. So I want them to have relationships with other people and to, you know, love God. And those are all important parts of their life. So that means for me that it's important that I spend time with them one-on-one, that I go to church, that I am, you know, being a good example, doing my workouts, teaching them how to eat right, all of those things. So those things break down into, I have to schedule out these times to do things. I have to make sure that I'm present with them in the morning. So instead of like, for me, I don't have a morning work session anymore because that doesn't work for me. I get lost, and then two things either happen. I get lost in the work and the conversations and my kids end up late for school, or I miss out on the things that they are doing and they are, you know, having breakfast by themselves, or, you know, I'm scrambling to do my work while I'm like putting their jackets on or rushing them out the door, and I'm teaching my kids how to live a hurried up, rushed lifestyle. So for me, I don't answer my phone anymore in the morning. I don't look at my messages. I don't open my phone really. I have my phone on do not disturb mode now, so it doesn't blink at me because I have the blinking light that lets me know when I'm missing something. It doesn't blink at me. It doesn't do anything. I just literally have it on so that my alarm will go off and then it goes away. And I make sure that my attention is on my children in the morning because that's important for me and the kind of mom that I want to be. So it can be totally different for you. If you work full time, maybe you need that morning time. But if your priority as a mom and your mom statement is to be present at the times in your kid's life when you can be, then maybe that means that you've got to put your phone away and you've got to put your computer away when you're trying to like spend time with them in the mornings. So this comes down to where you have to break down those activities. And, you know, for me, that means that, like I said, there's no business time before, like, until my kids are at school. I also know that if I don't press play before I open my computer, there's a pretty good chance that it's not going to happen until super late at night. And then I am a cranky pants, or I take Energize super late and I'm up all night long and I don't sleep. And then I'm a BICCH the next day. So I make sure that now I don't start my work until I've actually pressed play. So I drink my Energize. Literally, my day is I wake up, I get my kids ready for school, I get them out the door, I take them to school, I drink my Energize in the car on the way home from dropping them off because it's only a 15-minute ride to my daughter's preschool. I come back, I literally get out of the car and I press play. And I do my workout and then I come sit down and I allow myself some time to cool off. And this is the part where I could probably use some tweaking, but honestly, I don't really care, is that I let myself cool down and I open up my computer and I start to do whatever is first on my list for the day. I don't do the same things every day, so it's whatever is on my list. And a lot of times I get sucked in and then I end up not taking a shower, which is the part I don't care about. And hence why I'm sitting here today on a Wednesday night. I worked out this morning when I ran with my kids to school, came home, did a little extra, and I still stink and I'm still gross, but whatever. Like, my work got done. My kids are happy. I had dinner with my family. I'm doing this call with y'all. They don't care that I stink. Spray deodorant is amazing. And, you know, like, that's it. If y'all need to look nice, dry shampoos, from what I hear, is great too, unless you have curly hair like me and it doesn't work. But that's how my days go, you guys, because I know that when I do work, I stop my work between 2 and 2:30. If I'm on a roll, then I'll allow myself to go until like 2:30, 2:45 max, because I need that few moments to unwind my brain and get it off work mode and into my kid mode, because I want to be excited when they come to the car door when I'm picking them up. I want to be excited when I'm walking into preschool to see her and not staring at my phone and like finishing that last message real quick. You know, like, I want to make sure that my attention is 100% on them. And I'll be honest, sometimes I fail at this, but it's that moment when I need to go back to my mom statement and remind myself, okay, Lauren, put your phone away. Now is the time for your kid. Or don't get out of the car until you're done with this message and leave your phone in the car when you go inside to pick up your kid. And, you know, it's hard sometimes. And I also struggled with the fact of, you know, leaving the phone because I become so accustomed to it being on me. Truth is if somebody really, really needs to get you, they're going to find a way to get in touch with you. When I'm doing my work, my phone goes on airplane mode and it goes in my room. If I'm with my kid at the playground, it goes on airplane mode so that I can still take pictures if I want to take pictures or video of my kids or my family, but I'm not being distracted by the constant notifications or the blinking or even being tempted to go into Facebook because I can't access it if it's on airplane mode. So, you know, it's just those little things that you need to figure out. These are all the little things that you need to write down in the activity part. So when I say activity, I'm not just saying like, okay, I need to have this many conversations with business. I need to, you know, run this many challenge groups. I need to be selling this many challenge packs. I need to be doing these things. Those, yes, are all part of your business, but it's not part of what's going to keep you thriving in life. So you need to remember the things that help you intermix both. And if that means putting your phone away at 2:30 or whatever time your kids get off of school and not looking at business again until they're in bed, then that's what you have to do. If you know that you're going to be distracted by work when it's supposed to be family time. So all of these things, and the awesome part about it is that when it's work time, you're going to be so much more laser focused on work time. And you have to have this list that you can create that will really help you. It's a schedule And I'm working on doing something kind of like this, like a worksheet where you guys can create your own. Like, I'm not going to do it for you. You guys can create your own. But you can kind of create like a little worksheet for yourself that lets you know, like, this is what I personally need to make happen every day. And you can do it by hours, or you can just do it by blocks. Personally, if somebody tells me that I have to do something between a certain amount of hours, I'm like rebellious. I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. Or, oh, I'm supposed to be doing this from 9 to 10. Let me go to Target. Let me run real quick to Chick-fil-A. Let me go do this. And then and then I get home and it's not getting done because I don't like feeling like I'm put in a box of, I have to do this at this time. I just don't like it. That's just me. So if I tell myself, okay, you need to go out and you need to have, you need to check in with 5 of your personally sponsored coaches today. And you need to check in with, 5 of your challengers, or each one of your challengers. I run small challenge groups. So, let's say if I hit Success Club 10 every month, that means I have 5 challengers usually, right? So I usually work with between 5 and 10 people per month. Right now, about 5. And I make sure that at least once a week, they're getting a personal, like either voice memo or personal conversation from me, aside from just what they're seeing in my groups, that's saying, hey, I'm here for you. I just wanted to make sure everything's okay. Or, hey, I haven't seen you check into the group. How are you doing? Where's your head at? Is there something I can help you with? And generally that sparks a new conversation. One day a week, I go through and I do like mass inviting and messaging from all the people that have liked, commented, whatever it may be on my posts from my page. And that's where I do my inviting. And I know that I hate doing inviting. It's like, I can't stand it. So to me, I like to encourage those conversations, to build relationships and do those things. And then I'm just being honest with you guys, I don't invite. I only invite when it's time for me to sell challenge packs. So the way that I've laid out my business, and another thing that we are going to teach, actually let Melanie Mitchell do it, because why not? She's top coach. She's amazing at it. I'm not going to try and reinvent the wheel. She taught it exactly right, is to create a part of creating this time frame for yourself is creating a marketing plan for your business. Because if you have a marketing plan, then you're not going to have burnout from feeling like you have to invite people every single day. Because if I'm being honest, none of us top coaches do it. Nobody, we don't. It's not an everyday thing. It's like a once a week or once or twice a month kind of a thing. But we do it in big batches because we know that according to our marketing plan, these 2 weeks is where we need to sell our challenge packs. So this is where we are going to be spending extra time on our business, creating images, creating verbiage, creating, things that we want to say, creating groups and setting them up and doing these things. And then bam, we make these posts. Now we're having conversations with people. And so I know that during those 2 weeks, and generally for me, it happens over the course of like 3 to 5 days, I sell all my challenge packs and sign up all my coaches in those 3 to 5 days, because that is when my focused energy is spent on nothing else but that. And then I'm not burnt out all month long because I'm not feeling forced to have these conversations that don't feel legit. Does that make sense to you guys? And maybe you run your business a little bit differently, and maybe you work in a manner where you do need to do this every single day to keep yourself on a pattern, to be more consistent. There's different personality types on our team, and everybody works a little bit different. Some of the top coaches on our team, they have to do this every single day, or they're going to get so far away from it that they can't do it. So that is part of their mom statement. That's the business side of their mom statement, is that they know that they have these specific goals that they have set up for their business, which means that they need to do these specific activities every single day, like the business activity tracker. When I first signed up as a coach, I followed that business activity tracker religiously for 6 months until I became a 2-star diamond. And then things started to shift a little bit, and I started to kind of create my own activity tracker and realize how I worked and how I felt, because I was starting to feel that dip in excitement for the business, because things go like this. We have ebbs and flow in our business. So when you're in one of those low seasons, you don't want to have to feel like you're forcing it. You want it to feel natural, because the people that are going to be following you and interacting with you, they're going to pick up on that. They're going to pick up on whether or not you're trying to just sell a challenge pack, or if you're trying to really help them because you really enjoy helping them. You really enjoy talking to them. So you need to figure these things out for yourself. You need to figure out this system that works for you. So back to the mom statement. Now that you have your list of activities as your mom, you have your list of it, or family, or whatever it is, your friends. Maybe it's just that you want to be a freaking rock star tennis player and you need to make sure that you're getting to your tennis practices and doing all of these things. It's whatever your life embodies. If it's not a mom, put your own word in front of it. But I think for the majority of us here, we're all moms, and that's where we struggle, is we end up with the mom guilt, and mom guilt sucks. It's inevitable that it's going to happen a little bit. You're building a business, but you have to remember to not listen to this little voice that's sitting right here telling you that because you didn't do this, and because you didn't do all the things that you wrote down on your list, that you're failing, that you suck, that you're not a good coach, that this isn't for you. Because the truth is, check yourself. You are an amazing coach. You're an amazing mom. You just got to learn how to balance it. And we are here to help you do that. So it's at the times when I feel like I'm the worst coach in the world and like I'm sucking, or, hey, I didn't hit this goal, so I must not be doing the right thing, that I'm constantly reminded, like, I'll be honest, there's been that little bit of me that's been like, okay, I'm not going to hit this goal that I've hit every single year in my business, but it's my fault. I dropped it as a goal because I took it off my list of priorities. It wasn't something that aligned with me and my life and my quality of life that I wanted to have for my family. But because it's something that I had always done and it wasn't going to happen this year, it's something that was eating away at me little by little, like right here, saying, you're not good enough. You're not doing a good job as a coach. And sure enough, I get two text messages, one from one of my leaders who was really struggling, had a simple conversation with her about exactly this stuff, you guys. And she ended up getting her diamond back. And she was like, you know what? Thanks for being a great coach. Then you get the emails that tell you that somebody lost 100 pounds and they are thanking you for being a cheerleader. That's why you coach. This is why you do those things. You do them because they make you happy. Like, how many of you guys have somebody that's emailed you so far, except for Gabby, because you just started? Like, how many of you guys have gotten an email that has said, thank you so much for, I don't know, teaching me how to meal plan. Thank you so much for like motivating me to do this. Thank you so much for cheering me on. Thank you so much for changing my life. Like I couldn't have done this without you. How many of you guys have got that? Raise your hand. That makes you feel awesome, right? You want more of that, right? So we have to figure out how we can get more of that, because that is what's going to bring you joy in this business. So if those are the things that bring you joy in the business, those things need to go down on your business side of how you see yourself as a coach. Don't leave those things out. Don't just write down the goals of, I want to hold this many conversations. I want to be a diamond. I want to be this. Like, write down, I want to help people lose 100 pounds. I want to help people feel amazing. I want to help this person like not feel depressed anymore. I want to be the kind of coach that does what? What do you want to be known for? What do you want to be the coach that does blank? Fill in the blank. And if you don't know, if you're not sure what you like, who you are, because I've been there, been stuck in this spot, put a post on your Facebook that says, when you think of Steph Merritt, you think what? Blank. She's your go-to girl for blank. I love this blank. This one's floating around Facebook right now. It says copy this status and post it here. You love blank about me. Like, put that out there. It could be scary. Maybe you might hear some things that you don't want to hear, but sometimes it's good to see how other people do view you, because it's a good check for you on your social media and in your personal life. Is how of the things that you've been putting out there, what do they see? Maybe you notice that they're not seeing enough of what you want them to be seeing of you. So it's going to help you reevaluate what you need to be putting out there and what you should be doing more of in your business, or what you should be doing more of in your personal life. Because maybe they say something about what an awesome mom you are, and then you're doing the right thing. Like, it's just, you have to figure those things out for yourself. So one of the things you can do to help you figure this out, because this can be like super hard. And I found that I struggled with, like, I wrote down all these things, and this might happen to you, which is why I'm going to bring this up, is, you're going to create this mom statement. You're going to be all super excited. And then you're going to go into your week trying to like put it into motion. And then that first day hits you and your kid gets sick and you're like, oh, damn. Like now everything is thrown off, right? Like, and you feel like you failed at this and you don't really know where you're going to fit the time in to get these things done. So one of the activities that my challengers do when they first start, and I want my coaches to do this too, is create a log for yourself. You can do it on your phone. If you're a pen and paper girl, do it here. But even if you've been a coach for a really long time, do this for yourself again, because it's really good to stop and reevaluate. I try to reevaluate every week. I literally sit down and I brain dump every single Sunday or Monday, and I kind of do it every morning, but I do it for my whole week, at least once a week. And I look at my schedule and I think about all of the things that I have to get done that week. And then I go through and I create in this log where I write down, okay, so I've been waking up at this time of day. What are you doing from the time you wake up? What time do you wake up? Are you brushing your teeth? Are you taking a shower? Are you doing your hair? Are you doing your makeup? Are you eating breakfast? Are you doing your workout? Like, what does your day look like? And be super, super specific. Like, I mean, everything. You're going to write down the times where you are driving in the car to go to work. You're going to write down the times that you are driving your kids to school, or you're taxiing them to a practice, or, I sat for 2 hours at my practice and I watched my kid play hockey for 2 hours. I sat there in the freezing cold and I just watched him. What could you have been doing in those 2 hours? Is your kid going to really notice if you took 30 minutes to walk away and do something for yourself? Like, are you sitting in the carpool line, scrolling the news feed or watching YouTube videos or doing stuff when you could be setting that self as, you wait in the carpool line for, I don't know, what's carpool line? I don't have carpool line. I just pick my kid up at the back door. But usually it's like, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. If you've got 15, 20 minutes, what could you be doing in that 15, 20 minutes where you're just sitting there at a dead stop that could help you in your business or that could help you in your personal life? So maybe that means that you're sending a text message or a voice memo or something to your husband or your boyfriend or somebody that's telling them all the things that you appreciate about them or why you love them. Like, maybe it is sending voice memos to your coaches, and you have your little list of 5 of them. You send each person a 1-minute voice memo. That takes you 5 minutes. You're still sitting there for 10 more minutes doing nothing. So, you got to think about, where can you squeak in the time or steal time to get things done into your everyday life. It shouldn't be the other way around. And so many of us get into that habit where it's like, we're so excited about this business and you taste success, or maybe you're feeling failure and you feel like you got to do more. And now you're like, okay, I've got to wake up and I've got to answer my messages and I've got to, check into my groups, and I have to create this video and I've got to do this and I've got to do that and I've got to do that. And what happened to the time with your kids? What happened to the time with your husband? Plan a date night. Don't sit there. And I know it sounds so backwards for me to say this to you guys, because all you hear when you start a new business is, you're going to sacrifice, you're going to sacrifice, you're going to sacrifice. And yeah, maybe you make a few sacrifices here and there, but you can't make so many sacrifices that your personal life and your relationships with your children start to fall off, or your relationship with your spouse starts to fall off. I hear so many coaches that they see success and they've got great financial benefits and they have, created this life that they love. And, they're out there on social media and everywhere else talking about how fantastic their life is, but yet they're not really doing those things. They're not really having those great relationships with their spouse. Their spouses are the ones raising their kids. They're, they're getting divorced because they have a better relationship with their cell phone and their computer than they do with their spouse. We said this before, Rachel said it, mind your marriage before your business. That's super important. Mind your kids before your business. Those things come first, and they should. Your business should not come first. So writing down this statement for yourself, once you've figured all of this out, you can create like a little 2 to 3 sentence thing that says, I will be this kind of mom while doing X, Y, and Z for my business and for my coaches or for my challengers, whatever that might be. It should be 1 to 3 sentences. That's it. And that's the hard part, is narrowing those things down to say all of these things that you just took pages of like brain dumping notes onto, right? Is taking all of that and putting it into 2 to 3 sentences. But once you have those 2 to 3 sentences, you can even keep that little like brain dump paper, put it somewhere where you can see it, because that's the thing that you need to come back to all the time. It's the thing that you need to come back to that's going to remind you like, hey, you know what? Me answering those messages right now that I clearly see on my phone, you know, like they're there. It's not time for that. It's time for me to be here. That can wait. And then going back and, you know, and you're going to catch yourself. I catch myself too. And just saying, okay, I know that this is the time when I can do that. And if you know, like for me, that you're going to be, you have a few minutes when you're in the car, and that's when you're going to be able to do something like that. Tell the person that you're with that that's what you're going to be doing, so that they don't feel like you're ignoring them or neglecting them. And, you know, like if you know that you have to get something done, like this team call tonight, let them know that this is something that you need to do. And I'll be honest, if getting on this team call doesn't align with your family time and your priorities, it's recorded. I highly, highly recommend that you get on live, but if you can't, we will understand. It's okay, as long as you promise yourself that you're going to get on at another time. I can't listen to the national wake-up call when the national wake-up call goes off anymore, because it doesn't fit into my schedule of what helps me have the best quality of life. Because during that time is when there are things going on that I want to do for me in my life that are going to help me have the friendships that I want to have, that are going to help me be involved in certain activities that help me build relationships and do all of these other things. The national wake-up call is recorded, so I can listen to it on a podcast where I don't have to listen to the 10 minutes of announcements, and I can just get to the meat of the call when I'm driving home. And I can finish listening to it while I'm doing the dishes or whatever else needs to be done. Know that when it's your business time, if you're somebody that's going to get distracted by the dishes that are piled up in the sink, or by the dirt that's on your floor, or by the television, put yourself somewhere where those things are not going to be staring you in the face. So for me, I work during the day with my face towards the curtains. This is it. That's what I stare at when I work, because I know that behind me is all of that is saying, come clean me, come put this away, come do this, you know, come eat this that's sitting in the cabinet. So, you know, it's putting yourself in a mind space that's going to help you to work clearly and to be most focused when it is your work time. And to remind yourself what to say no to and to say yes to. So, all right, I think that's kind of all that I really wanted to. Oh yeah, I put staying focused at home. That was one of the things. Putting yourself in a workspace. Don't sneak in chores, because I'm notorious for that. I'll be like, oh, okay, I'm just going to do this real quick. If you're going to sneak in chores, do it at a time when you have it on your list to listen to a national wake-up call or to listen to a training call. The things that you can do mindlessly, where you can carry around like a little notebook or something and stop for a second and be like, oh, that was really good, and like write down a note, or, you know, do those things. And then work from a list, creating that list right out your week. If you're not using the BAT and you're not doing the same exact thing every single day, know what activities need to be done on what day. So if Mondays are your coach check-in days and you're like, you know, I call them touch-on days, where Mondays I want to be touching on everybody. I want to know how their weekend went. I want to know what's going on in their life. I want to help them get motivated and kicked off for the week. So that's when I touch on people. I know Tuesdays I don't work, because that's the day that I'm with my kid. If I happen to answer a message, it's because she was napping and I checked in, but it's not mandatory. I don't feel obligated to do it. Wednesdays is my busy day. I start super early and I get all my personal stuff done. And from the moment I finish my workout, it is work time until 2 o'clock. And during that work time, I know that like on that list, I have personal development calls. I have coach calls, like one-on-one conversations with people. I have to check in with the groups. I have to make my posts about team calls. I have to make sure that I'm getting all the things ordered that need to be ordered for prizes and gifts. And, you know, create your list of what you know has to get done. Make sure that you prioritize that list by your top 3 things. What are the top 3 things that you have to get done every single day to be successful in your business and to be successful in your personal life? So for me, I'll give you an example. Today, my list consisted of, I needed to post about our team call and give you guys a reminder. I needed to make sure, actually, my list is right here. I needed to, for my personal life, I needed to make sure that I had stuff planned for my daughter's birthday and things were ordered. I needed to book my flights for next week to go see my friend who like needs to have a friend. I made sure that I made returns and that I went grocery shopping. Those were like my things that had to happen today because they just did. My things that had to happen today were that I had to have my call with my mentor. I had to create my schedule for this week and next week since I'm going to be away and my schedule's changing. I needed to check in all of my messages and make sure that my inbox was empty. On Wednesdays, I make sure there's not a single message left in my inbox by the time I'm done with my business hours. By the end of the day, it's got some in it again, but that's okay. I made sure that everybody's messages were returned. And I checked into my groups and I do this team call. So those are the things that I know have to happen. And then I do all of my follow-ups on Friday and all of those conversations that I started earlier in the week with challengers, with potentials, with prospects. I do all of that on Friday. And I also do all of my like networking on Friday, because Friday people just want to talk to you. They just want to have conversations. They don't want to talk about, you know, they don't want you to sell them something. They just want to be talking and meeting new people because they're bored at work. So, you know, that's when I do all of my like group combos and just have fun meeting new people and networking. And all of those conversations that I started kind of filter through the week. That's how I lay out my time. And then I have creative time that's scheduled in once a week where I can create videos, I can do things, and my husband knows what's going on. So anyway, these are the things that you should do when you create your list. Know what has to be done and when it needs to be done, and just go through. Then what else? Yeah, leave the phone, ignore the door, don't answer the door, don't like get distracted. Because what also happens is if, you know, I have my girl, it's like, hey, can you go to lunch today? And if my phone's not near me and I know that it's a Wednesday and I'm really supposed to be working and I don't see that message, then I'm not going to go. And I can just be like, oh, I'm really sorry. Like I had to go to work, or I had to make sure I get my work done. Now, because I tell them, most of my friends know that I'm working on Wednesdays. Like that is my really busy one day a week that I allow myself to be stressed out to all, you know what, make sure that I get everything done for the week so that I can enjoy and be a little more relaxed throughout the rest of the week. So if they want to have lunch and we want to do things, I'm generally going to do it on like Fridays, because Fridays I can adjust my times a little bit more. And I usually get my work done a lot faster because I have less on the plate for those days. I think that's it. So I'm going to let you guys ask me questions. You can literally ask me anything. And if you have, let me know, like, did this help you guys? Do you feel like this has been like refresher or help you feel a little less overwhelmed? I don't know. You can unmute yourself if you want. I'm going to read the comments real quick. Heather, is Heather still on here? I think so, if this is the Heather that wrote it. Heather, we have an About Me form. Oh, is she still there? Yeah. So there's an About Me form if you go to the post in FitForce that I was talking about.
Okay.
The one for the new coaches at the top. It says, fill this out so we can get to know more about you.
Okay.
If you click that, that's the one that I use. And I changed it. It's different from the one that you guys all originally had when you signed on. Now it asks a lot more personal questions. It's like, I want to know everything. Like, I want to know what your favorite color is, what your favorite flower is, what's the name of your kids. Like, I want to know it all. So
Okay.
you too, like, because as your coaches grow, you're going to be able to know how they work. Like, are they somebody that's going to handle criticism very well, or are they somebody that, like constructive criticism, like how are they going to handle it? It'll also help you to know, do they work more for recognition? Do they work more for prizes and gifts? Do they work more for just wanting to have quality time with you? What kind of gifts do they like, so that you're not wasting your money spending them something that they don't really give a crap about, you know? So I want to be able to reward them and recognize them and honor them in ways in which suits them. Not everybody works the same way.
Got it. Thank you.
More detail on how I developed my marketing plan. So my marketing plan, I kind of have developed just on over the years, learning what has worked for me. Like when my personal audience is generally in the mood to buy things, I've tried doing challenges at every different like week of the month. And I found that by my starting my challenges on the first week of every single month, helps me to make sure that I do all of my challenge pack sales generally in the middle of the month. So I start marketing for my challenge groups then, which gives them 2 weeks to get their products and programs in. And then by the first, like the week before that first week, like this week, I would be starting to do pre-prep with them. And, you know, starting to teach them how to use their program and starting to talk to them about how to, like what's in their box and how to start meal planning and doing their detox. And they start going through the Getting Started Right document that I send them when they sign up with a challenge pack, which kind of goes through, it's got meal prep 101, pantry detox, like all of that stuff. But if you aren't sure, one of the things that I put in the new coach training, and you can go back and just do the training like you were a new coach. There's a video in there under, if you click on Getting Started, click on that, it'll pull up a document, and then go to the side. If your outline doesn't show up, make sure you click Show Outline, and it will. There's a section that says like, what are your next steps? I think, right? I think that's what it says, or where to start, something like that. But it's got videos from me. There's a video about creating your mom statement. There's a video about managing your time. There's a video about creating a marketing plan. And the marketing plan video is the one that Melanie Mitro created for her team and for like Beachbody coaches. And she does basically exactly what I do. So you just take out the sections that fit to you. Like you may not be doing your own team calls right now, which is totally okay. So, you know, just don't worry about scheduling those in there. If you're not running your own trainings, don't worry about that, you know, like, but you could put that in there as something that you're going to offer to coaches that you do bring in, you know, like, I know that this is going on if I have somebody coming in, but you probably should be doing like an opportunity hour and knowing when to plan that, or just maybe just an opportunity. Like I'm going to go live on my page this day and I'm going to talk about why I love Beachbody and what it's done for me, or, you know, just something that shares the business side of things that tries to encourage people to want to do it too. So that should be part of your day, no matter what stage of coaching you're in, or part of your month, but it'll just lay it out. There's several coaches that have videos like this. I think I learned initially from Anita and from, Anita and Lori and, you know, some of the other coaches taught me how to actually, I think we always just naturally did it. We just never called it a marketing plan, but now we've kind of like started teaching that because it is something that's super important. And that way you can plan your posts and like your pictures and all that stuff. You can create them like on the first of the month and say, okay, I know I've got this coming. So you can go change your shirt a million times and take a ton of different pictures, or, you know, every Wednesday you're going to post a workout video, go like change your sports bra 5 times and take 5 different videos in one day. And that way you can post them later, you know, like sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
So do you essentially hit Success Club in like 1 week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I liked what you said about like, because I feel like I get really bogged down with like in the inviting, and I'll put up a really good transformation post and I'll message like 30, 40, 50 people from it. But then I kind of lose my momentum. And then the next week, I don't do it every day because once you send 50 messages, it's hard to like the next day I'm like, okay, who do I message today and invite?
Right. Right.
So
So I do the tons of messages at one point, but I'll be honest, like maybe I can find one. My messages to people say absolutely nothing about like fitness. It's nothing. It's like literally just, it's people that like my page. I run ads and I get people that follow me because they liked my ads and they commented on something. And so I'll just send them a message and be like, hey, thanks so much for commenting on my post. Like, the support is awesome. I really like to get to know people that are following me or get to know my followers. So in case you just have, like, I'd love to know how you found my page, because I do want to know like how they found me. And maybe it was somebody from Instagram that got transferred over to my Facebook page. It's important for me to know because that helps me with my ads later to find out where I should be spending my money. But I have an ad that's been running literally for over a year, and I won't take it down because it's been shared over 400 times and it brings me like 20 new people a day. So like, it makes no sense to take it down if it's producing. And literally, they don't even like what I said. They just like the shirt I'm wearing, and they share it because they like the shirt, and they tell people, they comment like, oh my gosh, I need this shirt in my life. And it opens it up for me to be like, oh my gosh, are you into this? Like, I don't know how you found my page, but in case you didn't know me and you just stumbled across me, my name's Lauren, and this is a little bit about me. When Gabby messaged me, I actually sent her like the same message that I send to people that like my page, because I had never met her. I didn't know anything about her. So it was like, hey, how did you find me? Like, so nice to meet you. And this is a little bit about me. And it really wasn't anything about like, I think I did message her like stuff about fitness because she had mentioned it already. But like people that hadn't, it would just be like, I love tacos and I love Mexican, and, I am a mom and this is where I live. And, I work out because it helps give me energy to keep up with my kids, and it makes me feel good. And I love to, I use this page to help keep me accountable and to meet new people that inspire me to do better. And, I'd love to know more about you and find out if we can inspire each other, and usually because I've opened the door for them to tell me stuff about them, like I ask them if they have kids, I ask them more questions, or I'll go to their page before I message them. And I'll be like, oh my gosh, I saw the picture, I'll say, I checked you out just to make sure that you were like, a real person. And then I'll say something cute about their kid and I'll say like, because I get a lot of creepers on this page or something like that, and just say, I see you have, your kids are beautiful. And, if they're similar in age to my kids, then I message them. I also go do that because I am very protective of our team, and I want people on our team that are going to be a good fit. And so I actually like interview people and ask them questions about themselves. And, just if I don't like what I see on their page and I don't think that they are going to fit us at all, then I just don't even bother. I pass. See you later. Thanks for liking my page, but that's it. You're good. So
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. We have been on for a very long time. Gab, our calls are usually only 30 minutes. It's very long tonight. The last couple ones have been kind of long, actually, but they've been good. So, pretty sure we have them in Drive. Okay. Yeah. No, it's not silly to plan a date night, even if it's in your house. Not at all. Oh, she jumped off. She's not here anymore. Yeah. You definitely, Andrea, need to have a little bit of a business plan and help yourself stay to it. That was the other thing. This is something so this book, you guys, I highly recommend it. It's called Mom Inc. And I want you to read this when you're reading it, like from the mind of a Beachbody coach, because this is for someone who's starting like a business, like to sell a product or something. It's not geared towards Beachbody coaches at all. But what I love about it is that when you're reading it, if you're reading it from the mindset of yourself as the product, then you're selling yourself, because yes, you're selling a product, but you're really selling yourself. You're selling, because anybody can go order our product on Amazon, right? So why are they going to order it from you? Why are they going to want to work with you? You want it to be because they like you, and because they like what you have to offer, and because they feel like some kind of connection to you personally. So you have to figure out how to do that. But you also have to figure out how to get yourself out there and how to balance it all and how to do it all. So there are sections in here that apply absolutely nothing to us. Like the part about a blog. If you're not a blogger, don't read this and go try and be a blogger. But it teaches you how to do it, if you wanted to. One of the things I did love in the blogging section was that it was talking about how to make connections with people and how to do giveaways. Those are things you can totally do on your page, especially if you're an Instagram or like a Facebook page person, because that drives people to your business. It doesn't necessarily have to be through your blog. It talks about posting frequency. That holds relevance to your Facebook page and to your Instagram. It talks about, like the anatomy of a blog, like having a banner. You need a banner for your Facebook page that like represents who you are. Even if it's just a picture of your family, you still need to have something up there like that. It talks about like your about section and teaching people what you're about. Your Facebook page should have an about me section, where you're talking about these things. It talks about content and how to drive content to your page. So instead of thinking about it like, oh, I don't have a blog, think about it as in, oh, this is how I drive content to my Facebook page, or drive followers. This is how I drive people to my Instagram page. The other thing, it talks about like creating a budget for yourself. That's important. It talks about it as if you're in your first year of business. And as you grow, things are going to change. It talks about like how to keep up with your messages. I mean, clearly there's sections in here about like how to offer a service. You are offering a service. You're offering your challenge groups as a service. You're offering your time as a service to people. So they have some tips in here when you're reading it. You can say that doesn't apply and you can skip over the section, but I actually read it and there were certain things and parts that I thought weren't going to have anything to do with me that I was like, oh, I could use that for this, So it's definitely been really, really helpful. Finding clients is another section. Then where were some of the ones that I was reading about today? It was like estimates and contracts. Clearly, you don't need to have that. Vendors, like vending shows, if you guys want to do those, go for it. But instead of thinking about vendor shows, like think about fit clubs. Use the tips that they give you on how you could run a fit club and how you could kind of share with people what you're doing. Like I started off by just inviting people to work out with me in my garage, or in my driveway. And we would have people come over in our driveway, but you better believe I was offering Shakeology and setting a little challenge pack out so they could see what came in it. And I usually always sold one because they liked it and they were doing stuff with it. So market research, and then how to create focus groups. And yeah, there's just so much stuff in here. Like opening an online retail shop, you guys don't need to do that, but it does talk about how to set up a website if you wanted to have one. You don't need one, but qualities of a good online, like successful online shop. So we don't have an online shop, right? But our Facebook page is our storefront. It's our shop. So by reading this, it says things like a memorable and easy name, domain. So make your Facebook page either your personal name or come up with a business name for yourself that actually is memorable and suits you. And now you can have a website that you can create that goes like that, Like Anita changed hers to Her Soul Out Loud. People know that that's Anita now. And so her pages and her blog and all that stuff has been changed to Her Soul Out Loud. Then it just talks about making it look professional and having your things arranged by categories. So have your photo albums arranged by categories and choose what you want people to see and what you don't. So you can make a fitness page or if you're using your personal page, you can have a fitness album that's named. Jen Richardson does a great job of this. So does Nikki Whiting. You can go check out their pages where their photo albums have things that talk about life as a coach. And then that's public. Anybody can see that. But then the pictures of their kids, some of them may be only visible to their friends. Does that make sense? So it's sharing what you want to share and making things arranged nicely and easy for people to find. If you're offering something free through Google Docs, make sure that that link is easy to find and that your thing says click here for a free whatever or stuff like that. Anyway, this is, I could talk forever, y'all. Like, this has definitely been super helpful. And it talks a lot about time management and finding support, how to say no, organizing your business, finding balance, a day in the life of a mom, like a work-at-home mom, like just really good tips and information. You'll take lots of notes, I promise. So, okay. You're welcome, Lisa. I think you're already gone because I talked way too long tonight. Okay, cool. All right. Anybody got anything else? I don't want to keep you any longer because I know it's super late on the East Coast. Gabby, do you have any questions? Are you like super overwhelmed?
A little bit.
Yeah, that's okay. It's normal. So what we talked about today. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot your voice hurts.
It's okay.
You don't have to talk
Getting
about
better.
it. Heather said you get used to it. But just reach out if you're feeling like you don't know what to do or, you know, you're feeling overwhelmed. Hey, Emily, we're wrapping up, sweetie. But this is Em. Gabby's new, so we were just talking to her about she's feeling a little overwhelmed. I don't think she can hear me. But anyway, yeah, just reach out and just start small. Focus on the things we talked about today and just understanding those things, and definitely implement what we talked about today. And if it literally means you just do one thing every day, that's totally okay. Totally fine. Do what you can at your own pace. And when you're ready and you feel like you're ready to kind of put it out there and maybe start a challenge group, then reach out and I'll help you get that started. And we'll like kind of plan out when. Maybe we could even plan that out now, like when you plan to start one. And that way we can make sure that you're like shooting for that as your start goal. Definitely, now would definitely be a good time just because January 1st is going to roll around and people are going to want to hop on that I want to get healthy bandwagon. So, were you talking? Yes, I was. I just said hi to you, and I was telling you we're done. I talked way too long tonight, but I was introducing you to Gabby because she's new. She came as a new coach. Emily is like my soul sister in this business. She came to me because her coach quit and left her like high and dry. But she was really good, and she went on the Success Club cruise, or no, not cruise, trip. She went on the Success Club trip, and we got to know each other really well and found out that we grew up in the same small town. We have the same birthday. We were in the same sorority, and yeah, we just had way too many things in common. And then we ended up getting her as my coach, or I ended up getting her moved over to me officially because her coach just like dropped off the face of the earth. Literally, nobody's heard from her in like 2 years. Not even, no Facebook post, nothing. Just gone. Weird. But yeah. So she's
Was the call good?
one of our rock stars. What?
Sorry, I missed it. Was the
That's
call
okay.
good?
I don't know. I think I was talking in circles a lot, but that's all right.
Sorry, I was
think,
like really late.
That's okay. I think we got to the point of it all. They can tell you if it was helpful, but we just talked about creating that mom statement, and how to kind of prioritize and find balance. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks for hopping on tonight, and I hope you feel better, Gab. Take care of your voice. Thanks, Heather. Thanks, Rachel. Rachel, I didn't hear from your person. Nobody's called me.
Yeah, I don't know. I put everything in this week, so I haven't heard anything yet either.
Okay.
I'll keep you
All right,
posted.
I'll let you know if I do. You're welcome.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Okay. All right. Good night, guys. I'll see y'all later. Have a good week.
Good night.